Hello there, Rachel. I just wanted to let you know that I would be headed over there in the afternoon. I was thinking that I would arrive by about 3 this afternoon, if that's okay.
You mean 3 this afternoon today? Are you asking about coming over today?
And that's exactly what I mean. Also, I'm about to go out for lunch with some friends right now. And I was thinking that I could buy something sweet, like a cake for my son and granddaughter.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm really sorry about this, but I don't think that 3 today is going to work. I'm really happy that you wanted to do this, but we have plans then, so...
Wait, what? But I thought that you worked from home, right? Are you telling me that you aren't going to be at home then?
Well, I just have a few meetings that I have to get to around then.
Wait a second. If you're going to be out of the house, then are you going to be at home by the time Tammy gets back from school?
Of course I was. But Tammy has her after-school club today, so she isn't going to get home until a little later.
I see. And here I was thinking that I would go all out and buy something really special. But man, you really couldn't have picked worse timing for me to be doing all of this. What is the matter with you?
I'm really sorry, Erin. I didn't mean to cause you so much inconvenience.
Well, anyways, how have things been over there lately?
I take it that you're asking about Tammy and not me, right?
When have I ever asked about how you are? Of course I'm talking about Tammy. But more than that, I want to know about how things are going with making me another grandchild. I told you that I want a boy. It's been 5 whole years now, and you still haven't been able to give me one. Just how much longer are you going to keep me waiting?
Erin, we've talked about this before, but I don't get to choose what the sex of my baby is.
Oh, please. Just how long are you going to trot out that old excuse, huh? Don't you know that there's no point in having daughters? Besides, you're already in your late 30s. You really need to start thinking about this more seriously. I mean, you know that you might never even be able to have another child, right?
Erin, Brad and I have Tammy, and we are very happy and thankful that she has grown up happy and healthy. And if we have another child, that would also be amazing, but it isn't our top of our priority list.
Well, you're talking as if kids are things that just happen, but you have to work to get one. I mean, what if you never have a son? Are you really fine ending my whole bloodline right then and there?
I would think that Tammy would carry it on if she chose to have kids when she gets older.
You do realize that Tammy is a girl, don't you? She's not going to be carrying on my family name. It'll be her husband's.
If it really matters to you that much, maybe she'll find a man who's okay with taking his wife's name. I mean, you hear about that kind of thing happening more and more these days, right?
That is not what I'm talking about, and you know it. I want a boy. You need to give me a grandson who can actually carry on the family name.
Well, I'm sorry, but I really don't know what I could even do about that.
Honestly, talking to you is like speaking to a brick wall or something. I just can't get anywhere with you at all. Back in my day, everyone knew that a wife couldn't give her husband's family a son was just a useless drain on everyone around her. But I guess you would tell me that the times have changed, huh? I guess all you feminist types now don't even care about having boys to carry on the family name. But you'll regret it when you're older. You'll learn that there's no real value in having a daughter. It only matters if you can have a son.
Erin, how can you say that when you have a daughter as well as a son? Don't you think you're being just a bit rude?
What are you talking about? Have you even seen my daughter? She is the exact embodiment of everything that I'm talking about.
How can you say that about a human being, let alone your own child, Erin? I really just don't get you.
And now I guess you must be thinking of me as the bad guy in all of this, aren't you?
I never said that. Please stop twisting my words to suit your needs. I really don't appreciate it.
Oh, please. I know that after this, you're going to run back to Brad and cry to him about all the mean things that I've been saying. After all, that's what you've always done ever since the two of you got married, isn't it? When are you going to learn how to be an adult and stick up for yourself, huh? Aren't you embarrassed to be acting this way?
I am not going to run to Brad and tell him any of this, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say. You must think I'm a real moron to offer that one. But you and your daughter are the same as my daughter, completely useless. I wish you had a son instead. Then maybe I could have at least had some real love for my only grandchild.
Erin, you are really taking this whole thing too far right now. I really recommend that you stop.
Well, I've already said all that I came here to say, so I guess I can stop anyways. But anyways, if you're not going to give me a grandson, I guess I'll just have to think of another way to get one. Hello, Rachel. I just wanted to let you know that I'll be coming over this Friday, so have some dinner ready for when I arrive.
Hello, Erin. I'm really sorry to tell you this, but I'm not going to be at home on Friday.
Wait, what? Where are you going to be? Away with your family or something like that?
No, it's nothing like that. But I have a business trip that I have to go on and I can't miss it.
A business trip? How does that work? I thought that you worked from home, right? I should know. I was the one that allowed you to do so in the first place.
Well, yes, this trip is just a little irregular, but they do still happen, so it shouldn't really be that surprising.
So basically, you're telling me that because of this one in a blue moon business trip, you are going to be leaving the whole house empty? Just who is going to look after Tammy then, huh? And what about when she comes home from school? Is she just going to be all alone?
No, we would never do something like that. Brad is going to take off work early while I'm away on this trip.
I really just don't know what to do with you anymore, Erin. I mean, it was already tough enough letting you work, but now you're telling me that it's interfering with my son's work? You know, you really should just quit your job and become a full-time stay-at-home with nothing else going on.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, Erin, but I am not going to do that.
Oh, trust me, I didn't expect you to. When have you ever done the sensical thing?
Erin, come on, you can't just announce that you're going to come over and then get upset when we have something going on in our lives.
All I want to do is spend a little time with my grandchild. I don't need to be treated this way. You hardly ever let me get to see my son when all I want to do is cook nice things for the two of them and treat them.
Okay then, if that's really what you want to do, I can talk to my husband.
And just why in the world would you have to talk to Brad about any of this? You are really starting to make me angry, do you know that?
Well, it sounds to me like you want to take care of Tammy for a little bit. So if you're going to, then I need to tell him that he doesn't need to come home early.
That's right. We shouldn't be putting off all the burden of being a dad on poor Brad. After all, it's the weekend the next day anyways. Why don't we just have Tammy come and spend a couple of nights in my house? There's nothing to be worried about there, right?
No, I know how much you love your granddaughter, so I don't have any problem letting her stay with you.
Well, excellent. And yes, I've really come around to her, and she is just so much like her father. Of course, if she was the boy, that would be even better, but we can't always get what we want now, can we?
Yeah, I guess not, but I think that Tammy is amazing just the way she is.
Well, great. It's decided then. She's going to come over to my house and spend a few nights with her grandmother. Maybe she'll even be able to eat real cooking since I know what I'm doing as a true housewife. I'm sure your cooking is fine, but it's nothing compared to me.
Well, if you really think that, I guess I'll have to get to work on my skills a bit then.
If you really think that you'll ever be able to catch up to my skills, then you have to start practicing now. Because I've seen your cooking, and it looks so bad that they wouldn't even serve it to the sick at hospitals. I mean, it's just sad what you put your family through all because you want to work.
Okay then. Thank you for those inspiring words. I'll do my best from here on out.
I know that you're all talk. You aren't actually going to do a single thing I say, are you? And I doubt that you and Brad are making any headway on the baby-making front either. Isn't that right?
I'm really sorry that I'm not cooking or having babies well enough to meet your standards, Erin.
Whatever. Just tell Brad that Tammy's going to be staying with me for a little while. And tell Tammy that I'll be picking her up from school today. Mommy, are you there? Please answer me.
Tammy, is that you? What are you doing up so late? You should be in bed. Are you at Grandma's house right now? Did you have to get up to use the bathroom or something like that? You know that I'm just going to be out of town until tomorrow, don't you?
Mom, please. I'm really hurt. It hurts so bad.
It hurts? What do you mean, sweetie? What hurts?
I just want to go home. I don't want to be at Grandma's house anymore. She told me that I was a bad girl, and now I'm locked in Grandma's shed.
Wait, what? What happened? Why are you in the shed? I don't understand.
I don't know. Grandma started saying all these mean things about you, and so I asked her to stop talking about you like that, and then she told me that I needed a spanking.
You mean that Grandma hit you? Is that what you're telling me?
That's right. She said it was because I was being a bad girl. She told me that little girls shouldn't talk the way that I was talking, and that I was being very naughty.
What in the world is that woman thinking? Where is your grandma right now?
I think she said that she was going to take a bath after she locked me in here. She told me that I have to wait in here until she was down. But it's so black, and I can't see anything, and I'm really scared right now. I don't know when Grandma's going to be done with her bath, or if she's going to hit me again when she comes to get me.
Okay, Tammy, I understand. You just hang on just a little bit, okay? I'm going to talk to your dad about this. But you said that you were hurt, right? Are you okay? Can you move?
I'm okay. It just hurts a little bit to sit down right now. But it really did hurt when Grandma was spanking me.
I am so sorry that you had to go through that, sweetie. Grandma should not have done that to you.
But why are you apologizing, Mom? I learned that you should only have to do that if you did something bad.
Well, I did do something bad. I should have never ever agreed to send you to Grandma's in the first place. But you are not a bad girl. It's Grandma who's the bad guy here, okay?
I was only trying to tell Grandma that in school, they taught us that it's bad to say mean things about people, especially when they aren't around to do anything about it. I was just telling Grandma that she was sounding a little bit like bullies from my school, but then she said that she could say whatever she wanted about you.
Tammy, I am so sorry all this is happening right now. Your dad is already on his way. Do you think you can hang on there just a little bit longer, please?
You mean that Dad is coming to pick me up and take me back home?
That's right, he said he's on his way right now, so you just need to wait a little bit longer for him. I know that you can do it. You're a strong, smart, good girl, Tammy. Erin, are you there? We have to talk about what happened yesterday.
What are you talking about? I don't have a single thing to say to you after the way you ripped my granddaughter away from me. But to think that you didn't even have the guts to do it yourself, so you had to send my son too. You really are a horrible daughter-in-law. Do you know that? Why do you always have to treat me like this? You tell my son that I didn't do anything wrong right now.
Except that you hit our daughter and locked her in the shed. Do you really call that nothing?
Oh, please. It's not like she's a baby or something. She's already in the 3rd grade. You can't just baby your children forever, you know.
If you think that's the case, then surely a woman your age should know that it's wrong to hit a child.
Now you listen here. I did what I did because your daughter was getting smart with me. All I did was take my rule and did what was done to me when I was little. It wasn't even that hard. It wasn't like I was trying to break anything.
I don't care what you have to say for yourself. When Brad picked up Tammy, she said that her rear end was red and swollen.
Well, would you rather I hit her in the face instead?
Did you really just ask me that? I don't even know what to say to something like that, Erin.
Well, this is all your fault anyways. You're the one that's always babying Tammy. I did what I had to try and discipline your daughter. And you should know that the only reason I held back was because of how much she looks like my son. But that's where the similarities stop. She clearly got your personality, which explains a lot.
You really need to get a grip, Erin. I mean, surely you know that all you're teaching Tammy is to fear physical punishment. Besides, Tammy told me you were hitting her because she asked you to stop bad-mouthing me to her.
I wasn't bad-mouthing anything. I was only telling your daughter the truth about her mother. And I was explaining to her how horrible you were for not having a son, and how you never keep the house clean, and how your cooking is atrocious. Now really, can you actually say any of that isn't true?
And just what do you think bad-mouthing a child's parents to their face is going to do for them?
Well, because clearly it comes from a grandparent, then it must be true. I just wanted to make sure Tammy understood what was going on around her. You're the one at fault for not teaching your daughter to have better manners. What happened to respecting your elders, huh?
You really think that being older means that you can act however you want?
And just what is that supposed to mean?
I mean that I am not going to let you get away with this. I trusted you with my daughter, and that was my fault. But you are going to pay for what you've done to her. We are going to cut you out of our lives.
And just what do you mean by that, huh? Have you gone totally crazy? What about Brad? Are you going to leave him and live all by yourself?
What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, that's all I was doing was trying to look after my grandchild. I was just doing you both a favor.
When did either of us ask you to hit our daughter?
That's part of the looking after. I'm the grandma, and it's my job to make sure Tammy grows up well.
Actually, that's our job as her parents, thank you very much. And if you think we're going to stand aside while you hit our Tammy, you are dead wrong. Brad and I have been more than fair in the patience that we've shown you, but you've done nothing but throw it back in our faces.
Of course you're supposed to be patient with me. I'm the mother-in-law. I can't do any wrong. You need to apologize to me right this moment.
In your dreams, I am never going to apologize to you, and you are never, ever going to see my daughter ever again. You're never going to see any of us again, in fact.
Well, then I guess that means you won't be getting any of my late husband's inheritance. I'll just give it all to my daughter instead. What do you think about that?
That's fine. We already told you that we don't want anything to do with you, and that includes your money. But I wouldn't be so sure about your daughter Lisa. She isn't happy about what you did either. In fact, she has half a mind to join us in cutting you off.
What are you talking about? She wouldn't really do that to me.
Well, Well, she might after we told her the way that you treated your granddaughter and all the horrible things you've said about your daughter in general.
Well, it doesn't mean that I don't love her or anything like that. But obviously, a boy is just more valuable than a girl. That is simple math, is it not?
You keep going on and on about needing an heir, but for what? There's no company to be inherited, no vast legacy to be carried on. You just want someone to have the same last name as you, and that's it. But it doesn't actually matter. Nobody but you cares about any of that, I can guarantee you.
But then, if both my children cut me out of their life, then what am I supposed to do? Please, you have to tell my kids that I haven't done anything wrong. I'm begging you. You have to know I was doing all of this for Tammy.
Well, you're the only one who sees it that way. But you should have listened to Tammy when she told you that you were being nothing but a bully.
You're right. I was a bad one. I'll apologize to Tammy. I'll buy her whatever she wants. Just tell me what she's been bugging you and Brad to buy for her.
What part of you are never going to see Tammy again don't you understand? There's no coming back from this. It's over and you are finished.
Please, you can't do this to me. My family is all that I have left. Without them, I'll be all alone in this world. I can't live like that. You have to forgive me for this. Nothing like it is ever going to happen again. I promise that I'll be nice. Just please don't leave me all alone.
You should have thought about being left like this before you did what you did. You are the oldest of everyone involved, and yet you didn't even think twice about hitting a child that wasn't yours. Well, I hope you get what's coming to you. After that, Aaron began to blow up my phone with calls and messages begging for forgiveness. I ignored them all and finally ended up blocking her. I didn't want to hear any more excuses for the way that she treated my daughter. I thought that having Tammy spend more time with her grandma might have helped in bringing around Aaron to having a granddaughter, but I know now that I was wrong to believe that. Brad and I decided to move to a new house after cutting his mom off so that we would never have to hear from her again. We even changed our number just in case. Thankfully, Brad's job had a branch office in a town that we had always talked about living in. He was able to get his transfer, and we were so excited to move. With my job being fully remote, it was very easy to explain to my boss what was going on and where we would be moving to. We thankfully haven't heard from her since, though we do get updates now and then from Brad's sister. She decided not to cut her mom off, if for no other reason than because she thought someone needed to be there to keep an eye on her. The move wasn't the easiest for Tammy, but Brad and I sat her down and explained to her why we were changing houses. I'm sure that Tammy never thought to think of her grandma as being someone to worry so much about, but I just worried about how all this would affect her when she was older. Thankfully, Tammy has been adjusting quite well and has even made some new friends at her new school. We have her talking with a child therapist about her grandmother, so that by the time she's an adult, she will have hopefully moved past much of the trauma of what happened.
Hey there, Jane. Can you talk right now? I was waiting for you to respond to my other text, but you were taking too long. What are you doing right now? Why aren't you responding to me? Are you even looking at your phone right now?
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm just seeing everything right now. Is there something that you wanted to talk to me about, Henry?
Is that really all you have to say after how long you've been keeping me waiting? Don't you know that you need to get back to me right away?
Okay, well, I'm really sorry that I didn't, but I didn't notice any kind of notification on my phone.
And why was that? Were you doing something that you don't want me to know about? Because I was sending you so many messages and you just weren't responding to any of them at all. You know you kept me waiting for a whole 5 minutes?
And I said that I was sorry to have kept you waiting that long, Henry, but I wasn't looking at my phone.
And what I want to know exactly is what you were doing that was preventing you from doing so. Because when I send you a message, I expect you to read it and respond to it right away.
If you really must know, I was in the bathroom up till now. My stomach was giving me a little trouble, and so I left my phone in the living room and just went to the toilet. And that's why I was away for so long and wasn't able to respond to you right away, okay?
I really just don't know what to do with you, Jane. I mean, how many times are you going to make me tell you to always take your phone with you no matter where you're going? This is why I tell you to do that. You never know when I'm going to message you, and you need to be able to answer me right away. You know how upset it makes me when you don't get back to me while I'm trying to talk to you, don't you?
Oh, trust me, I know that a little too well. But anyways, it won't happen again, okay?
Well, are you going to tell me what you've been up to since this morning, then?
Okay, I did the laundry and then I hung it up to dry, and I've been cleaning parts of the house too. Next, I was going to mow the lawn and tend to my garden since it's a nice day outside.
And that's really all you've been up to today? You promise me?
I also switched the sheets on the bed since I was going to be washing the old sheets. And then I also ran out to go to the store and pick up some things that we needed.
Well, I hope that you stayed within the budget that I gave you for shopping, Jane.
I'm really sorry about this, but we're just about $10 over budget.
$10? Are you out of your mind? Why in the world did you spend so much money?
Well, I thought that everything I needed to get was going to be within the budget, but I guess that the price of eggs went up again. So by the time I got everything we needed to, I just happened to be about $10 over.
I really just don't even know what to say to you right now. Here you are, supposed to be a housewife, and you can't even stick to a simple budget.
Well, the only reason for that is because you're giving me too narrow of a budget to work with. I am doing everything that I can to pinch pennies and cut corners where we can, but if prices go up, then I can't help that.
I wonder if you even realize how obvious the excuses you're trying to give me right now is.
I really am not making up any excuse at all. Besides, what about last month? We were actually under budget then. So basically, we're just coming out even if you think about it.
We're not talking about last month's budget right now, are we? I give you a budget and I expect you to stick with it. You need to quit thinking that you can get away with acting like nothing I say matters. I'm giving you rules to follow here.
Right. I'm sorry, Henry. I shouldn't have gone over budget. You're right.
I mean, really? Do you have any idea just how hard I work for us? You really just have no pity at all for all that I do. That's it. I have to put my foot down. You are not going to be having any dinner tonight.
But, Henry, you didn't let me eat any dinner yesterday either.
That's right. And do you remember why? It was because you forgot to iron all of my shirts. I have enough shirts to get through the week and you screwed up my order. Honestly, just how many years have we been married already? Why am I still having to talk to you about this?
We've almost been married 3 years now, Henry.
That's right. And in these 3 years, I would really have thought that you'd smarten up by now. I mean, you know that I go to work every single day just so we can afford to live the life we have. It's your job to take care of the house while I'm gone. But it's like I have to explain to you how to do your job even after all this time.
Well, I promise that next month I won't go over budget, okay? You have my word, Henry.
I don't want us wasting even a single penny from now on. Do you understand me? I work my butt off every single day for the money I give you. It's just rude when you waste my money because you're basically telling me that you don't respect all the work that I put in to take care of us. Don't ever forget that.
Okay, you know that I really appreciate just how hard you work for the both of us, Henry.
You say that you understand, but I really don't think that you quite get it. That's why you think you're fine going $10 over budget.
Please, Henry, you know that I'm not ungrateful for all that you do. I'm so happy that you work so hard for the both of us. You know how thankful I am for you. I promise you that I won't ever make a mistake like this again.
Well, you're going to have to do better than just a promise. That's why you're going to show me that you mean it through your actions. Anyways, my lunch break is over, so I have to get back to work now. And I'm not going to be back home until 7 tonight, okay? So you better have dinner ready and a bath drawn for me by then or else. Got it?
Of course, and I was thinking of making some fish and rice for dinner, if that was okay.
That's fine. Just be careful with how much salt you use this time, okay? The last time that you cooked fish, I felt like I was dying in the desert by the time I finished.
Okay, I'll be sure to use less salt this time. I didn't realize I used too much the last time.
Well, I say that it's high time that you did learn. I mean, we've already been married for 3 years now. When are you going to get serious and make me food that I actually enjoy eating, huh? You really are useless sometimes. Do you know that?
I'm sorry, Henry. I really don't mean to be. But anyways, I'll get back to cleaning the house then. Good luck with the rest of your day, Henry.
1 week later.
Hey there, Henry. I just wanted to let you know that there was a big package delivered to the house and it appears to be addressed to you. Did you order something online or something like that?
That's right. I ordered a bunch of snacks for myself online. I had a coworker who was eating some chips from abroad, and I just had to get myself some. He was always eating at the office and offering them to people who walked by his desk. so I knew that I would really like to have some.
I see. But it's really just that this box is, well, really, really big. Do you mind if I ask how many bags you bought?
Yeah, of course. I ordered about 200 bags of chips, so that makes sense.
Hold on a second. You ordered 200 bags of chips from another country?
Well, yeah. I was going to start taking them with me for a snack at work from now on, so...
But then, how much did all of this cost for you to buy and have shipped here?
It cost me about $300. Pretty cheap when you stop and actually think about it. It's just like $1.50 per bag of chips, so I couldn't pass that up.
But you're telling me that you spent $300 on snacks for yourself?
What is your deal, Jane? Why is it not clicking for you? It's my money, so I'll spend it however I want. Thank you very much. If you have a problem with how I spend my money, then why don't you go and earn your own, huh?
Henry, I'm just confused because this isn't the first time that you've done something like this. Remember that juice that you really liked for a little bit? You bought a couple 100 pouches as well and then never ended up finishing them.
Well, that's because I had my fill of the juice and I wasn't as into it anymore. Is that really so bad? Are you telling me that I'm not allowed to do that or something?
That's not what I'm saying, Henry, but what happened to getting serious about saving money where possible? I just don't understand how spending $300 to import potato chips was a good use of money.
You really just don't know what you're talking about at all. You need to save money because you're using my money. Get it? But when I spend money on myself like this, it's because I need some relief now and then. So anyways, don't think that you can use this as some excuse to stop saving money when possible.
Of course not, Henry. I wasn't going to stop trying to save your money, but how can I go out and earn my own money when you don't want me to have a job?
And just what would someone useless as you even do for a living, huh?
Well, I'm just wondering why you're so strict with me, Henry. I don't understand it. I think I've only been able to shop for myself once in the past 3 years.
Yeah, that's right. And I let you pick out any pair of shoes that you wanted, didn't I?
Henry, we were shopping at a resale store. My selection was all of used shoes that other people had worn down.
And just why in the world does every little thing you own need to be new, huh? It's not like any of the shoes were busted or had holes in them or anything like that.
I know, but it can be a bit wearying having only used clothes to choose from every day. I would actually love to work and earn a little money for myself, then I wouldn't have to rely on you as much.
Well, the answer is no. You aren't allowed to work. If I let you do that, then I know the house would just fall apart. And that would just cause problems for me now, wouldn't it? Basically, you would be doing less work around the house and spending all your money on yourself instead of putting it back into the house.
I don't get it. It's not like me working is going to end up taking money away from you. I don't get how you lose in any of this. It's not like I won't stop trying to save money where possible, but it will just make that a lot easier if we have more money to spend in the first place.
That logic doesn't even make sense. How is having more money to spend going to help you save even more? It just doesn't add up. You're clearly just wanting to get out of your wifely duties. It's true that you working won't affect my salary, but considering all the damage it will do to my home life, it's still a loss for me. Besides, we make enough money with just my salary. And finally, I don't know what place would ever want to hire a useless woman like you to go and work for them.
Henry, I don't think that's fair. I was already working before we were even dating, remember? It's not like I've never had a job before. Why don't you think I'd be able to find one?
Of course I know that. You think I don't remember meeting you while we were working together? But here's what else I can tell you. After you left, not a single thing changed around the company, so you actually weren't nearly as valuable as you thought you were.
And so you're just going to make me spend the rest of my life in these rags that I own?
If your clothes are that bad, I saw the thrift store toss out some bags in the dumpster. Maybe you can go dive around there for something new to wear, but don't complain about that to me. 1 month later. Hey, I was messaging you all throughout my lunch break. Why weren't you answering me, huh? Don't tell me that you were slacking off again or went somewhere without your phone after we've talked about this.
I'm sorry, Henry. I'm just really not feeling good, so I sat down to take a little nap.
Did you seriously just tell me that? I just said that you had better not be slacking around the house and not cleaning up. What is the matter with you?
It's not that I'm goofing off or something like that. I feel really sick and I can't do work around the house right now. I don't know. I'm thinking that I should go and see a doctor about this. I really don't feel good.
Why on earth would I take you to the doctor when I can just buy you some fever tablets or whatever it is from the store on the way home?
I already took some medicine that we had around the house, but I still don't feel any better. Even when I was lying down, I had to prop myself up against a wall because lying down made my head spin. I really don't know how much more of this I can take.
Oh, don't worry about it. I know just how much you can and can't take. You're doing fine. You can still work, so quit whining.
Please, Henry, I'm in a lot of pain and discomfort. I don't think this is just some common cold or something. I really think that we should let a doctor take a look at me.
And I just told you that the answer is no. Besides, doctors cost money, and I know you're just doing this to get out of doing your chores.
You can't be serious about this, right, Henry? I really don't think this is something that's just going to pass by after a few days. I have a really bad feeling about whatever it is making me so sick. I really have to see a doctor.
And just how do you know about what you have when you're not a doctor, huh? What makes you think you can diagnose yourself like that? I've made up my mind, and nothing is going to change it. You're not going to go and see any doctor on my watch. Got it?
You mean you're really too cheap to even take your own wife to the doctor when she's feeling like this?
Call it what you want, but if you want any kind of medicine, then it is going to be what is cheap and available at the store. Got it?
So you're telling me that you're just going to deny me the medical treatment that I'm saying that I need? I am a person. I have rights, you know. You don't own me.
Excuse me? Just who do you think that it is that pays for the roof over your head? The clothes you're wearing, or the food you eat, huh? You're nothing without me.
Honestly, I know families that are more attentive to their pets when they're not feeling good.
Well, that's because a pet probably does something for the family, like bring them joy, which is a far cry from what I can say about you.
I don't get it. If this is the way that you're going to treat the person you married, then why did we even get married in the first place?
Well, I don't know about you, but I just needed someone who would cook and clean for me without me having to pay them. And I wanted someone who I could keep in the house and would always listen to what I had to say.
You're kidding me. Is that all I am to you? I guess I was always hoping that you'd just change one day, but I see now that I've been the fool this whole time.
I really can't believe that you're even making me have this conversation with you. But if you have all the time to be texting me, then get back to cleaning the house. The next day. Hey, Jane, where are you right now? Why is the house a complete mess right now? Huh? It doesn't look like you've done a single thing here all day.
Well, that's because I haven't done anything at home all day, and that would be because I'm not there right now.
So, then you're skipping out on your chores? How many times have we talked about this? And there's a bill from the doctor here. Is that where you went?
Yes, I did go to the doctor to have him take a look at me.
Even after I told you not to? You wasted my money like that? Who do you think you are? You're gonna pay for this.
Oh no, the only one who is going to pay for this is you, you lousy piece of crap.
Excuse me? Seriously? Just who do you think you are right now talking to me like that, huh?
For better or for worse, I think that I'm your wife, Henry.
What are you doing right now? Why are you acting like this? You can't talk to me this way.
I can and I am. I have had just about enough out of you. You are always going around telling me what I can and can't do like I'm some sort of slave. But if you really want the house cleaned and dinner cooked for you, then you can do it yourself.
Jane? Is this really you? You've never ever talked to me like this before.
Of course it's me. Just how many times are you going to make me repeat myself, huh?
Did you hit your head or something? Why are you acting this way towards me? Because if you think you're going to get your way by talking to me like this, it isn't going to work.
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all, do you, Henry?
That's rich coming from an unemployed, useless housewife like you, Jane.
You might have a point there. If it weren't for the fact that abused wives can claim quite a bit in alimony when they divorce their husbands.
Abuse? Are you out of your mind? I haven't laid a single finger on you. How have I been abusive?
Oh, please, you know exactly what you've done to me. You do it to me every day. But don't worry if you're forgotten. I keep a diary with all the horrible things that you've said to me and made me do. Not to mention all the secret cameras I had installed that have recorded all that you've done.
What do you mean you installed cameras in our home to watch me?
I mean just that. For example, you remember yesterday when I was sick in bed, right? You came home and started throwing things at me while I could hardly move. You can bet that I'll be suing for that and more. So I hope you're ready to be taken to the cleaners, Henry.
Sue me? Now I know that you really are crazy. You can't do that to me because you can't live without me. You know that.
What I know is that when I have all your money, I won't need you for anything ever again, Henry. It'll give me time to find a new place to live, start a new job, and take care of any other expenses I might have. I already told you that I didn't need you to live or work. You were the one that needed me.
You have no idea what you're talking about at all, Jane. For these past 3 years, you've just gotten used to leeching off of me.
You think that this is how I want to live? You think that this is what I pictured my life to be like when you and I got married? But that's rich that you think I'm a parasite. You literally said you wanted someone you didn't have to pay to take care of all your needs and do the things you didn't want to have to do. You've been the one leeching off of my kindness and generosity and hard work. You have no idea how patient I've been with you.
How dare you call me a leech when you don't contribute a single cent to this house? All you do is take and spend and give nothing back in return.
Is that the best defense you have for yourself? That your wife doesn't contribute anything because she was too busy working herself to the bone to keep the house clean? Or am I the leech because you refuse to let me go out and find a job? No matter what excuse you try to come up with, all the blame circles back to you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. I'd recommend looking for a good divorce lawyer before you hear from me next. I had actually taken a bus to my hometown and asked my parents if I could stay with them for a while I got through my divorce with Henry. In the end, I was able to sue him for basically everything he had and more. Henry had to go deep into debt to pay the full amount he was charged with. After that, rumors of just how abusive he had been began to circle around his work, and soon he didn't have a single friend in the office. It probably didn't help that most of the management and his boss were all women who were disgusted by how he treated me. Henry couldn't stand the shame, and so he ended up quitting his job. Although he couldn't ask his company for a reference given what his bosses knew about him. I have no idea where Henry is now, but last I heard he had moved into a tiny apartment and was working multiple part-time jobs just to keep up with the rent and his loan payments. It's a good thing that he's so good at saving money, though. As for me, I took some time to recover with my family, who were all very supportive after what I had been through. I used the money from Henry to do exactly what I said. I moved to a new state, moved into a new apartment, and found a new job, and turned over a new leaf. I don't know what the future has in store for me, but after what I've been through, I'm sure that I can handle it. Hey there, Alex, is now a good time? Are you still working even though it's so late?
Yeah, they called me in to do even more overtime. You know how it is. You shouldn't worry about staying up for me, though. Just go to bed, and I'll sneak in whenever I get home.
Are you really sure that you're going overtime right now? I mean, I feel like they've been keeping you extra late every day for a whole month now. Just how much work could there be to do after you've already put in so many hours more than usual?
Listen, Brenda, we can't all work at nice companies that treat their employees like fragile little dolls like you do, okay? My company provides a real service to people, and that means that there's always work to do and claims to file and that sort of thing.
I know, but what's the point of having a set time to go home if the company isn't even going to respect that? I mean, you've been working there for so long, can't they give this kind of work to other employees or something? Have you considered looking for a new job? It's not like we couldn't afford it, even if you weren't getting paid as much. I'm really, really worried about you. I don't know how you're supposed to keep up as a worker if they're constantly working you like this.
I don't think that I would be able to transfer to a company that would treat me better with my resume. I just don't have the kind of credentials that I really need to get out of this field and into something better for me.
I get that, but surely you should be able to leverage at least some of the experience you've made through your job, right?
I'm glad that you're able to talk yourself up so much at interviews and stuff like that, but I could never do something like that. It just wouldn't work at all. I mean, I get scared enough just by talking to my boss in the office whenever he calls me in to talk.
Come on, Alex. You've got to have more faith in yourself. I mean, why is it that you've had to work so much overtime like this in the first place? Did something happen to make all of this work suddenly appear out of nowhere or something?
It's just that the company is downsizing, so everyone else's work is getting spread out across the company. We just have people quitting every month, and that means there's more overtime for everyone.
I see. It feels like everywhere these days is complaining about not having enough staff.
It really is starting to be a pretty big problem, but at least I have a job, and for that, I'm grateful. Oh right, that reminds me. I have to send my mom money tomorrow. Would you mind handling that for me?
Yeah, I can do that, but it feels like it's always me who ends up being the one sending your mom money. I'm happy to help out taking care of your mom and all that, but I thought that you would be taking care of the money. I mean, I just feel like I've been the one paying for your mom out of my funds for a few months now. You are going to pay me back for all of this, right?
Pay you back? What are you talking about? We're husband and wife. We're supposed to help each other out when we're in trouble.
I know that, but I've just been going into my savings to do this for your mom. And I thought that we wanted to try saving up money for when we had kids. Just how long is your mom going to need money like this? I thought she said that she wasn't going to ask for this for any longer than 6 months or so, right?
I know, but I think my dad's inheritance was just less than my mom thought it would be, and you know how things are with the cost of living going up.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but this can't go on forever, okay? I mean, it's not like your mom isn't too old to be working or anything like that. Even if it was just part-time, it would help all of us if she had another source of income, don't you think?
But you know that my mom has never ever worked, right? She's been a housewife her entire life. I don't really think we could just ask her to work all of a sudden, right?
I know that it's a lot to ask of her, but it's just the situation that we're all in right now.
I think that we're going to be just fine as long as you and I are both working, though. So I really don't think that we need to bother my mom with this.
Well, I don't know for how much longer I'm going to be working here. I mean, I'm not thinking of quitting anytime soon. But I'm just saying that when I get pregnant, there is probably going to be a long time where I'm not working.
Okay, sure. But that's when you get pregnant, which you're not right now. So that's not really relevant to the conversation at all.
I don't really think we're all that early to be talking about me getting pregnant, Alex.
Okay, except that you're literally not even pregnant right now, so I don't get why you're bringing that up now. Anyways, it's not like I'm not busy with my job either, you know? Do you really think that I like having to work these long hours and be at the office all day? Maybe we should just talk about this at home.
But there's never any time to talk about anything at home with you working so late. That's why I'm messaging you now. If we didn't talk about this now, then I would just go to bed and we'd never ever discuss it.
Brenda, please. I'm really, really tired right now, and I just don't want to have to deal with this, okay?
Okay, right. I'm sorry, Alex. I know that you're working really hard, and I didn't mean to imply that you weren't. Just good luck with the rest of your work. I guess I'll see you when you come back home.
1 month later. Hey Brenda, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I won't be going home at all today. I'm gonna end up missing the last bus home, and I don't want to pay for a cab all the way back. I'll probably just hunker down in some cafe that's open all day.
Wait, what? I don't understand. Why aren't you going to be coming back home tonight?
Well, because of work, of course. Why else don't I ever make it back home? Really, why do you even ask something like that?
And you're really working and not doing anything else? This is actually your office keeping you late?
Of course it is. How can you even ask something like that? What is your deal lately? I feel like you have to try and fact check every little thing that I say.
Well, I just mean that every time you do come home from working, you always seem to have just been out with your coworkers instead. I mean, who else in your office is doing as much overtime as you are? Are you the only one at work right now?
I don't know what you're trying to get at. And if you have a problem with me getting dinner with my coworkers after working so late, then that's on you.
So you always go out for drinking after having to work so late into the night?
And just what is wrong with a drink every now and then? Am I really not allowed a single beer after being in the office all day? And it's not like I'm throwing all my money away at some bar. We're just picking up a six-pack from a gas station, that's all.
I really just don't know what to think right now. It's so hard to believe you sometimes, Alex.
Well, what I want to know is, why are you so upset about me going out for a drink with my coworkers anyways? What business of yours is it what I do with them?
You left the office at 7 p.m. today. You're normally scheduled to get off at around 6:30, so that must mean you weren't working overtime today.
Wait, what? How do you know all of that? What is going on here?
At 7:15, you met up with the woman who you're having an affair with. The two of you went to a gas station to get some drinks, and then you drove off to a hotel together. I take it that the two of you probably had dinner in the hotel? Is that right?
Now wait just 1 second. What in the world are you talking about right now? Seriously, what is this?
Sorry, was I not supposed to be following you around after you left work?
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Is that what you've been doing?
It's not a joke, and yes, it is what I've been doing. In fact, I've been watching you like this for the past week already. I thought that you were acting pretty suspicious, so I just thought I would see what you were actually getting up to. Lo and behold, you were only cheating on me. But what really shocked me was that the woman was the wife of that coworker of yours who came to our wedding. Jeff, right? I guess that he must have no idea that any of this is going on as well. Is that right?
Hold on just a minute there. Brenda, you don't know what you're talking about. And what about Jeff? Have you talked to him at all about this?
No, I still haven't said anything to him about this. Yet. But I think that you should probably tell his wife that I know. And that I think Jeff and I are going to have a little chat. Actually, since the two of you are in the hotel right now, maybe you should just come to my room? I'm in the same hotel that you and that woman are in right now.
Wait, Brenda, you don't understand. I'm not cheating on you, okay? I promise.
You're really going to try and tell me that now? It's a bit late, don't you think? I already have more than enough proof to back up all of what I'm saying here. And don't try anything funny, or else I will tell Jeff right away. I've already told family and friends where I am. I told them to deliver a letter that I had written for Jeff if they don't hear back from me after a certain time.
Wait, no. You can't just... Oh man. My head is spinning right now. What is going on here?
Just hurry up and come to my room already. I'm in room 1504, so I better see you both here soon. Hello, Miranda. It's been a while since the two of us last spoke, hasn't it? Oh, why, if it isn't Brenda, to what do I owe the pleasure? Well, I just wanted to let you know that it's been a few days and Alex still hasn't come home. So I just wanted to ask if he wasn't hiding out at your place at the moment. If you're upset that your husband hasn't come back to you, then you can only blame yourself. So you're saying that all of this is my fault? And do you mind if I ask just what makes you think that? Well, because my son can't ever go back to you. Because he's dead. You chased him into a corner and made him feel like he had nowhere else he could turn to. He left a note and everything. I can't believe that you would accuse him of cheating on you. It's just horrible. You know that my boy would never do anything like that. Are you sure about that? Well, if you really think so, then I guess you wouldn't mind paying the $1 million he owes me, right? Because when Alex and I talked at the hotel that night and I confronted him, he tried to destroy all the evidence and even assaulted me. The doctors say that it's going to take 3 months for me to heal. Not only that, but someone has got to pay for all the damage to the hotel room itself. So if your son is dead and can't pay his debts, I guess that means that they should fall to you. Wait, no, just joking. Alex is actually alive and well. You know that I can't afford to pay any of that debt. So then you just lied to me about your own son being dead? Do I have that right? Brenda, please, don't you think that you're just being a little bit unreasonable right now? I mean, do you really think that the best response to finding out that your husband was cheating on you was to threaten him like that? What else did you expect to happen? I didn't threaten anyone. I only told Alex that I was going to make sure that people knew the truth. And besides, are you really going to tell me that your son, who was having an affair behind my back, is more in the right than I am? I just mean, look, Brenda, I just want you to remember that my son is still your husband, and that means you both have duties to each other. I mean, you know how long Alex has been working at this company of his, don't you? Don't you realize what your little stunt could have cost him? So you're really saying that I should have let Alex continue to cheat on me for the sake of his career? While he was sleeping with the wife of one of his coworkers? Are you even listening to yourself? Please, you have to think about the bigger picture here. I mean, what are you going to do if Alex loses his job over this? It sounds to me like he might lose his job either way with all of these unexcused absences that he's accruing. But you still haven't actually gone and told this Jeff guy all of what you know about the situation, right? No, I still haven't said a word to him about any of this. After all, how could I have while I've been in the hospital recovering this whole time? I'm only going to talk to him after I'm out and able to do so face to face. See, there you go again, making threats when you don't have to talk to people that way. Why are you always trying to spin this around on me? Don't you understand how I'm the victim in all of this? Look, I know that it's hard to be cheated on and that nothing is going to undo the pain that you've gone through. But you also need to realize that you've already made my son suffer plenty with what you've done. He is terrified of the consequences of his actions. So I don't really get what else you have to gain by taking this any further. You're just going to be putting more hurt out into the world, don't you see that? It's almost as though you don't care about ruining Alex's life till he actually does have no other choice but to disappear forever. Miranda, I think, first, that we should agree that I am the victim of what Alex did. With that established, the only question that remains is of who is going to pay all the legal fees Alex is supposed to. If you care so much about your son's well-being, you are more than welcome to pay those fees for him. So, just tell me when I can expect the money from you, and that will be that. But look, I mean, don't try and drag me into your drama. I'm just an outsider. If you really think that you have nothing to do with this situation, then please butt out of it and mind your own business. Because like you said, this is just between Alex and I. So unless you want to claim some kind of responsibility and be a party to these talks, then I think we're done here. Okay, I get it, jeez. I'll tell Alex that he has to talk to you and that this can't continue like this.
Brenda, are you there? I just want you to know how sorry I am for all of this.
All of this? What do you mean? Tell me precisely what it is that you're sorry about.
I mean the cheating and the hurting you. I never ever meant to take it all so far.
You're also forgetting about the running away. I think that even Jeff's wife was surprised by that. To burst out into an episode of violence and then flee from it like some common criminal?
Wait a second. You don't think that she's mad at me for running away, do you?
Why do you think I would know any more about the person you were having an affair with than you? Are you two not even talking at this point?
Well, she's getting my messages. But I'm so scared I don't think that I can face her.
You really are pathetic. Do you know that? But whatever. I don't even know why I'm wasting my time talking to you. The only thing that we have to discuss is our divorce. I hope you found a lawyer for our meeting this weekend.
Brenda, don't you think that we could just make up and put all this behind us?
You did not actually just ask me that, did you? Are you serious right now?
Well, I just mean that my mom is really, really upset about what happened and what's going to happen to me. She told me that I have to apologize to you. But I don't want to divorce you. I can't lose you. Please, we're doing so well.
The only reason that our marriage lasted as long as it did was because of all the hard work that I was putting into it. And I don't care if you don't want a divorce. I don't have any reason to care about any of what you want.
Wait, no. You weren't supposed to get more mad at me for that. That was supposed to turn you around.
What? Did you think that I was just going to take you back? It's obvious that you're just begging me not to do this because you think you won't have to pay for all the damage you caused. But do you think that your mom is still getting any money from me now?
Please, Brenda, just don't leave me. I'm begging you.
If you don't want a divorce, then why did you cheat on me in the first place, Alex?
I mean, you don't get it. I was tricked. Seduced.
Is that really supposed to make me feel bad for you in any way?
No, you're right. But you have to know that I'll never do it again. I will never ever cheat on you again as long as I live.
Alex, while I was working myself to the bone to make sure that we would be able to keep sending your mom money, what were you doing? You were running around behind my back, going to sleazy hotels with your own coworker's wife. Was I just some ATM that you used to pay all your bills so you could have fun?
Of course. It's not like that, and it never was. I swear. And I'm so thankful for all the hard work you put in just to support my mom.
So thankful that you beat me within an inch of my life after you found out that I knew you were cheating on me? If that's you being thankful, I would have hated to see you get upset with me. You know you broke my arm.
I did? Brenda, I really am sorry. It was never my intention to hurt you like that. I really didn't mean it.
If you're really sorry, then you'll man up, pay for my hospital bills, and cough up the money for the damage you caused to the hotel. But if you're just going to waste my time begging me not to do something that I've already made up my mind about, then we're through talking. I'll see you this weekend, jerk. A couple of days after that, I got a message from Miranda asking me to change the divorce talks to be at her house. Apparently, Alex had tried to run away again, but Miranda had stopped him and trapped him inside where he wouldn't be able to escape. But when all the neighbors asked what the banging and screaming they heard from her house was, she finally had to tell them about what her son had done and why she had trapped him. It wasn't long after that when rumors about Alex began to circle around his office. Even Jeff found out about what Alex was doing with his wife before I had a chance to say anything. He was so upset that he swore to divorce his wife as well. So we both agreed to sue our respective spouses for the affair that they were having, and then divorce them. As for Alex, his work wasn't able to fire him for what he did, but he was given a severe demotion that came with a huge pay cut. As for me, I recovered and was finally able to move freely again. I took the money that I had gotten from Alex and decided to start my life over in a new state. I moved closer to where my parents lived, found a new job, and have been easing myself back into the single life. I'm not really sure what life is going to have in store for me from here on out, but this experience taught me never to be afraid of standing up against someone who has wronged you. I only hope that Alex learned something from this too.
Hey Mary, I just wanted to let you know that I'm about to go home, but I was going to bring a couple of coworkers home with me today.
Oh, I see. Were you all planning on drinking at house tonight then?
That was the plan, yes. Why do you ask? Is something the matter with that?
Well, it's just that we talked about this earlier, but moving around for me right now is really difficult. And it's already plenty hard just keeping up with all of the housework by myself as things are. So I don't mind if you bring your friends over to our place, just please don't ask me to do any hosting for them.
Oh, come on. Surely you can at least throw together some dishes for us to share while they are over here, right? I mean, they are coming over as guests after all. The least we should do is try and be good hosts to them, don't you think?
This is how it starts, but I know that once we run out of food, you're going to ask me to go out and get you all more. Either that or send me back to the kitchen to something else for you all.
And is that really so bad? It's only going to be little things. It's not really that big of a deal, you know?
You do know that I'm about to have a baby any week now, right? I mean, we really are in the final countdown. It's really uncomfortable and even painful to be standing up all day. It really puts a strain on my lower back, and I just can't handle it anymore.
Okay, Mary. I think you're starting to make this whole pregnancy excuse way too far. I mean,
You're carrying a baby. It isn't like you're sick or something like that. My office also lets women take off work as they get further on into their pregnancy, but I've seen plenty of women continue working in spite of that.
Well, I just hope that they had the freedom to choose whether or not they were going to continue to work. But anyways, I would appreciate if you didn't compare me to other people. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Well, I think that you're starting to use this as a crutch to get out of doing things that you just don't want to do. I mean, did you not think this would happen? Did you think that you would be totally comfortable all throughout your pregnancy? Or did you just think that the whole world would stop for you and hold your hand through this?
Of course I didn't think everyone was going to let me do whatever I wanted just because I'm pregnant.
Well, it sure seems that way. It feels like you're expecting everyone else to put their lives on pause until you have this kid. You're not going into the office to work anymore. And at home, all you do is complain about how you're too uncomfortable to do housework.
I really don't think that you're being fair to me, Joe. I mean, am I not cooking all the meals at home every day? I also have to go to the store to buy everything that we eat. I feel like I've run a marathon by the time I get home.
Hey, if all I had to do was a little shopping and some cooking, you have no idea how lucky I would feel. Do you think women back in the day complained as much as women in our generation? No. They had plenty of kids and turned out just fine. My mom told me all about how she tried to continue keeping up with the housework even while she was pregnant with me. She told me that if she didn't take care of things around the house that my dad certainly wasn't going to be. So I think when you compare that to today, when we have so many appliances and tools to make our life easier, you really don't have any room to complain.
So you really think that everything in your parents' days was perfect and that women didn't have any of the issues they have today?
There you go, trying to twist my words around. What I'm saying is that for thousands of years, women have had kids without having to complain about it. I think you're just being a bit selfish the way that you're acting right now. So you're going to quit your whining, make something for me and my friends, and then I want you to go out and buy us some booze, okay?
Joe, please, I just told you that it's really uncomfortable to have to move and especially leave the house.
Oh my gosh, it really isn't that complicated at all. Just bring one of those baskets on wheels that we bought for you earlier. That should solve all your problems.
Right. I guess there's really just no point in trying to convince you, is there?
You know, I'm really getting sick of your attitude. I mean, you do know that I'm telling you to do all this for your own sake, don't you?
In what ways is any of this being done for my sake? You can't really mean that, right?
I mean that while you're pregnant, you've really been packing on the pounds. And I know that you like blaming everything on the baby, but it's not going to work this time.
I agree that I probably have put on a few pounds since getting pregnant, but I think that you're over-exaggerating just a bit.
Yeah, I thought you would say something like that. All I'm saying is there are plenty of doctors and magazines out there that all agree it's good for pregnant women to get some exercise now and then. So why don't you take their medical advice and move your body some, huh? Because otherwise, you're never going to lose that baby weight.
Okay, fine. I'll go out and buy some food and drinks for you and your friends. But I don't have to go out again to buy even more later. Do you understand me? I am going to go to bed early tonight and I do not want to be disturbed.
So that's the impression that you want to give my workers of how we live at home? That you go to bed early and leave me to my own devices all the time?
I really don't think that most husbands would be asking so much of their pregnant wives to begin with.
There we go. Anytime I make a good case against your attitude, you always just have to pull the pregnancy card on me, don't you?
Joe, I'm getting ready to leave the house and go shopping right now.
That's right. You better go and do that before I get even more upset with you. And don't forget about something for us all to eat when you get back home too. I know I said something small would work, but you're still cooking for 3 grown men.
Joe, can you please just let me in the house already? This is ridiculous.
No. This is your fault, and I won't let you back in until I think you've learned your lesson.
In what way is any of this my fault? You're the one who showed up with a bunch of friends from work all of a sudden. I told you all day yesterday about how horrible I was feeling, and then you go and do this to me?
Well, it's your fault that everyone went home early. I told you I wanted the house clean and dinner ready before I got back from work. But you couldn't even do that for me, could you?
That's because I told you that I was feeling awful. I could hardly even move. Besides, I told you that I was going to be resting in bed all day before you started to boss me around.
Here we go again with the pregnancy excuse. I know that all you do at home is just roll around doing nothing. The least you could do is try and keep the house clean while you're there, you know? But it's your fault that everyone went home. You totally ruined the mood.
Look, Joe, I told you that if you bring your friends over to drink, that I don't mind them staying here late into the night. I mean, you do realize that I'm supposed to be having this baby in just a couple of weeks, don't you?
And just what does that have to do with me, huh?
Did you really just ask that? Do you really think this baby has nothing to do with you?
I just mean that you're always complaining about being too tired, but you always seem to have the energy to argue with me. It sounds to me like you're nothing but a faker. I bet you feel fine and you're just upset that you won't be able to milk this in a couple of weeks.
I really don't even know what to say to that. I just really hope that you don't actually think that's what's happening. You know, I never took you for the kind of person to act this way before I got pregnant. You realize that we made the baby I'm carrying, right? I had hoped that you would have wanted more to do with the pregnancy, but all you've done is boss me around and make me feel like a burden for carrying our child. I know that you probably can't ever imagine what I'm going through, but there are some nights I'm too uncomfortable to even sleep.
So that's your problem? You can't get enough sleep? So what? I'm sure that you nap plenty throughout the day.
Of course that's not it. I am in so much pain and discomfort in my feet, my back, my stomach, all of it.
You really think that gives you an excuse to be as lazy as you are? You know what I do after a night of hard drinking? I show up to work the next day hungover and tired, but I still do my job.
Those two things are completely different, and you know it.
I know that now. You're just mad because I made another good point. Now you can't use your pregnancy to get out of it. Maybe you should go spend a night on the street just so you can realize how nice you actually have it.
Do you have any idea what month it is, Joe? If I have to sleep out here, I am going to freeze.
Oh, please. You're so fat that I doubt you can even feel how cold it is out there tonight. But if you do get a little chilly, go on a run. The exercise will do you good. But don't think for a second about calling anyone for help and telling them about this. If you do, then I'm going to ask for a divorce right then and there.
But I don't even have my wallet, and I'm not even wearing a jacket right now.
You think I don't know what you're trying to pull here? We both know that you have credit cards saved on that phone. Well, I'm telling you now that you aren't allowed to use any of it. Put your phone in the mailbox. I'll collect it later.
You can't be serious, right? You really don't care at all that you're about to make your pregnant wife sleep on the cold streets tonight?
You really think that anybody's going to do anything to a gross fatty like you? Why don't you just hang out around the park near our house? I'll go and pick you up tomorrow. But if you're not there, then we're going to be getting a divorce. I really mean this. I'm not afraid to make you raise that child all by yourself.
Hey, pick up the phone right now, you creep. I mean it.
I don't wanna. You can't make me take your call.
This is no time for you to be acting this way, Joe.
But you've been messaging me all day. I don't want to talk to you if you're just gonna yell at me.
Just answer the phone right now. I am serious. You're an adult, Joe. Stop acting like this.
You think I want to hear your terrible voice the first thing in the morning? Do you have any idea just how hungover I am?
You're hungover? Well, that just makes all of this that much worse. Do you know that?
How dare you talk to your older brother like this, Maggie? You need to show me some respect.
Maybe I will when you earn it. The only thing I really wanted to tell you was to come to our parents' place right away.
And just why would I want to drive all the way over there, huh? Are Mom and Dad dying? Did someone have a heart attack or something?
What happened is that you kicked your pregnant wife out on the cold streets, and now we're all here apologizing to her.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Mary is there with you all?
I mean, I still can't believe that you would really do something like this. Don't you know that Mary is already 9 months pregnant? You're just awful, Joe.
Oh, please. I'm not the bad guy in this at all. You can't let Mary fool you with her crocodile tears. Mary is always using being pregnant as an excuse to do whatever she wants. I was just teaching her a lesson that it wasn't going to work forever.
Mary told me that you were complaining to her because you didn't think she was cleaning the house well enough. Not only that, she told me that you kept bringing over colleagues to have parties at home with.
Wait a second. How did you even find out that I kicked Mary out? I mean, I took her phone and wallet and everything. Don't tell me that she walked all the way to Mom and Dad's or something. That would be impossible. Although if she did, it would only prove that she was lying about how discomfortable she was.
You really are an idiot. Do you know that? Do you really think that someone in Mary's condition would make it all the way here by herself? Actually, a police officer saw Mary sitting all alone in the park shivering.
Wait, you mean the cops brought her to you?
Well, they were wondering what a pregnant woman was doing in a place like that so late at night. At first, they offered to take her back to your house, but Mary insisted that she couldn't go back, so she asked him to take her here instead.
And so that's how she got all the way to Mom and Dad's house?
That's right. And that's why I've been trying to get a hold of you since this morning.
Oh, shoot. Then did Mary's parents know about this too? I bet they're really pissed. Has anything else happened?
You really are the worst. Do you know that? You're only concerned about how any of this affects you, aren't you?
Well, duh. Have you met Mary's parents? They're really, really scary. You'd think they'd be nice to me for taking care of their cow of a daughter, though.
Joe, do you really not know where Mary's dad works?
He's just some old fool who works in a factory or something like that, right? I remember one time we went over to their house and he said something like that.
Joe, Mary's dad is one of the senior managers of his company. He only goes to factories to supervise them and make sure company policies are being implemented.
Wait. That can't be right. He's just some grunt on the assembly line, isn't he? There's no way that old fool is anyone important anywhere for anything.
Then I guess you also didn't know that he's the company representative in charge of making deals with your company.
You mean that my company is nice enough to give his company contracts for work?
You have it backwards, Joe. His company is much larger and only deals with your company because of shared history with the past company presidents.
Wait, you mean his company is the bigger one?
That's right. I think you screwed this up big time, Joe. And you are going to have to pay the price this time. It wasn't long after that when Mary's lawyers reached out to Joe to tell him that she wanted a divorce. He tried to beg her to stop and explain that this was all a big accident, but Mary knew that he was only saying that because he realized who her father was. Mary's father had a very long talk with some of the higher-ups on Joe's office who, in turn, talked to him about the consequences of his actions. The results were a very smooth divorce process for Mary and Joe. It turns out that Joe's attitude at work wasn't much better than his attitude at home. He was always showing up to work hungover, even still slightly drunk sometimes. Some employees even stepped forward and said that Joe had harassed them into going into his house to drink. They felt like they couldn't say no without pissing off someone who was their superior. That being said, they also reported on how they say Joe treated Mary at home. The results were a heavy demotion and pay cut for Joe. Honestly, there was very little difference between what they did and firing him. Now Joe works in the boiler room, which holds the company archives. He spends all day filing and organizing documents that haven't seen the light of day in decades. The only reason his bosses chose not to fire him, it turns out, was so that Joe would have the means to keep up with his child support payments for the next 18 years. Whether or not Joe has figured out that that's why he was kept on remains to be seen. In the light of the pay cut, Joe tried turning to his family for support, but they all knew what he had done to Mary, and no one was interested in lending a hand. It sounds like Joe is going to be trapped in a dead-end job all alone for a long, long time. As for Mary, she was able to safely give birth a couple of weeks later. She moved back in with her parents, who have been helping her raise the baby while she adjusts to the single life. Even though she wants nothing to do with Joe ever again, she still keeps in contact with his parents and sister, who do all they can to support Mary. Now, months later, Mary was able to return to her company, the same one that her father works for, and is easing herself back into a working schedule. Thankfully, her company has an in-house daycare for employees who are also parents, and that has made the whole process much, much smoother for Mary. She may have been nervous to resume her life after all that she had gone through, but cutting Joe out of her life only made her stronger. Mary realized just how much her low opinion of herself came from Joe's abuse, and she realized that she is much, much stronger and better off without him in her life. or her child's life anymore. And it seems that many of Joe's relatives have also caught on to a similar idea. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.